Hello, I would like to talk to you today about something that I've never seen or heard before and I kind of put together on my own. We're constantly reminded to have a growth mindset, but I've learned that a synthesis mindset makes my life easier and it saves me time and helps me to be more productive. And so whenever we teach our students about synthesis, this was a culmination of several teachers putting together the activity. The activity is made in Google Slides. We ask students on a white piece of paper to draw and color a tree, and we give them 10 minutes. Within the presentation, you will also see we have inserted a YouTube video of a 10-minute timer. Using timers helps keep the class organized and paced, and it is a strategy that helps your lesson planning as well. Whenever the students draw the tree, you have to tell them to trust the teacher and not ask a lot of questions or complain. They must just do what you say as you are doing it. Once the 10 minutes has passed, you have them write on a piece of paper and fill in the blanks. When I think of a tree, I think of blank because of blank. Students will say, when I think of a tree, I think of nature because birds often live in nature. And you want to try to encourage students not to be so literal when they're doing this, but to try to think deeper and more symbolic. Once they have completed this step, then you walk around and see what they're doing. Move on to the third step, and this is where they often get upset. You distribute scissors and have them cut the tree into pieces. Tell them, do not think of shredder where you shred them, but think of puzzle pieces. And they cut out the pieces of the tree. Okay, so they're taking apart their object. Once they've cut the pieces apart, and you have to stop and explain this next part several times, then go back to your sentence. What does the tree represent to you? They form a picture out of the cut up pieces of the tree that goes back and answers their sentence that they completed. The sentence was, when I think of a tree, I think of blank. And so they glue the pieces of construction paper, create their picture, and put their name on it. And then we keep these to remember what synthesis is, which is where you take pieces from different sources or text and put them together to create something new. And so these are some examples. This young man refused to cut up his tree. He said, when I think of a tree, I think of a tree because I'm thinking of a tree. So that was as literal as you can become. Beautiful things can come from it. When I think of a tree, I think of rebirth and growth and letting go, because a tree is always changing and growing with each season. Letting go of everything that hinders in getting in the way and getting reborn with spring. So they made a tree out of the pieces of the other tree. This one, when I think of a tree, I think of summer because I imagine the warm breeze blowing through the leaves. When I think of a tree, I think of sad wasted paper tree babies because of said fat packets. And we'll reference fat packets a little bit later. When I think of a tree, I think of adventure because I would play knights in the backyard with stick swords and tree villains. When I think of a tree, I think of growth and peace because trees and plants are symbolism for growth and because I always find peace in nature. So this takes you into a synthesis mindset where you have your current situation. Look for answers to problems, make connections, and always try to be a problem solver. That is what the synthesis mindset entails. So whenever you think about, this is how I came up with some of the structure of my classroom. So we talked about what synthesis means. For example, if you got information from an email, news, and from speaking to others, and you put that information together in your brain and thought about it and created your own opinion on it, okay, you created your own opinion there, then that would be what is considered synthesis, where you take the information from different sources and come up with something new. in it. So in my life, in my personal life, I'm a mom of 2 children, 7 and 12. I'm a teacher, I'm a wife, and I'm an individual. And so different things. I love trees, personally. It's somewhat of a symbol for my life. I love art and painting. In my role in school, I am the English 3 team leader. We have 6 teachers that teach English 3 at our high school. And then we have something entitled the 7 Mindsets, which focuses on a growth mindset, but then other important mindsets that we need to have to be happy and successful in life. And so I'm constantly thinking, how can I bring these things together? So with the love of trees and the idea of synthesis, we created the synthesis project where the students create a tree and cut it up and make something new in order to understand the definition of synthesis. With the 7 mindsets at our school, we have to remediate students that have failed the state test. So therefore we have, during our advisory period, English and math teachers are required to remediate students that have not passed. So therefore all the other students were put into classes and given the curriculum of the 7 mindsets. Whenever you look at the 7 mindsets, a lot of people seem to have a negative attitude, but it is absolutely amazing. And I was not exposed to the curriculum because I was doing remediation, and so I started exploring it this summer. But the 7 mindsets really bring meaning to your classroom, and they're very important life skills. Everything is possible. Mindset 2, passion first. Mindset 3, we are connected. 4, 100% accountable. 5, attitude of gratitude. 6, live to give. And 7, the time is now. So with the 7 mindsets, as I studied this, whenever we study and learn, which we're constantly doing, it affects other things. So with the synthesis mindset, okay, here we are, and we're thinking about how can we do this. As an English 3 team, we discussed the 7 mindsets, and we created on the English 3 team, when we planned our year trying to be more organized, we planned it around different mindsets. So each 9 weeks we decided to focus on one mindset. So for 9 weeks around Thanksgiving, we're focused on an attitude of gratitude. And on the 7 mindsets website, curriculum is provided for you. Okay, so if I clicked attitude of gratitude, whenever it comes up, you have lesson plans, resources, there are videos created there for you, resource hub. When you click there are tons of resources provided. There are icebreakers, games, activities, videos. So we tried to bring more meaning to our English classes by organizing it organized around the 7 mindsets. So you can see how instead of just having chunks or areas compartmentalized in our life, we try to think about how can we use what we're presently faced with in the present and pull to come up with connections, always seeking to make connections. Connections would be the most important part of a synthesis mindset, would be making connections among every aspect of our lives to increase our productivity and give us back more of that time that we are looking for. So when we were planning our English 3, okay, attitude of gratitude, we then were trying to organize our files. And so what we came up with, this is the desktop that you see here, okay, with many, many files that needs to be organized. But what we did as a department was whenever we had our Google Drive, we are a Google school, we then went to a folder that we created that was a team folder. And so within that folder, again, I need to organize the drive. This is real. This is what is happening. English 3, if I type in English 3, which I've been an English 3 teacher for 12 to 14 years, there are so many things that contain English 3. Okay, this is English 3 teen. And so I'm actually going to guess. So within this, we created first, second, third, and fourth 9 weeks. Each 9 weeks has one of the 7 mindsets. All right, it says 7 mindsets text, so we share these folders. And so these are all resources, videos, and ideas that we created related from the 7 mindset theme. Teachers at our school have the freedom and autonomy to select text that they want to use. We all do not have to complete the same short story or text that we are reading. So within week 1, okay, here you have different student work samples and things that we were working on. Let's try week 2. Right, and you can see the different folders. Here was Passion First, so this was a Google slide that was invented. I created this, we created this in the summer. And what happens is all of us collaboratively share the slides and add to it during the day. So we're working collaboratively. We use the Google Chat during the day. We have journals. We have the video timers embedded. This would be a video of a children's book related to passion, learning zone and performance zone, questions. So you can see this is how we organize, we share files, and so that is a much more organized approach, and we will continue to try to be more efficient. However, what we use was from the having a synthesis mindset, we seek connections to bring the areas of our life together. So the apps that we will look at in this presentation, we will see how technology impacts our lives, making it more productive. We will look at one entitled Wonderlist. This helps with our to-do lists and all areas of our life. Headspace will focus on meditation. The app 3030, which was referenced in our reading, will help us with daily tasks and will implement timers, okay, especially for those visual learners. Then we will look at Google Calendar to help organize. I have the Google Calendar, but then I also have my paper calendar, which is a hot mess, okay? So we will look at getting organized, and then finally we will look at Evernote for note taking. And I learned of a Google, my real passion again, trying to have our classes on Concordia to be meaningful. I was looking at Kami, which is a Google extension or a Google app that allows you to annotate on PDFs. So as we try to go paperless, because as mentioned in the synthesis tree, we often make packets, fat packets, and it makes the students very sad at the amount of paper that we use. So as we try to go paperless, I've explored Kami. The librarian helped me with Kami, and that will be something that we use with our class, integrating technology. So these 3 instructional videos will help you and will help us, and what I'm going to use is the 7 mindsets. We will look at the time is now and ways to improve our schedule and be more efficient. We will look at passion first, and then probably 100% accountable and attitude of gratitude. Thank you, and have a great day.